Next up, at UFC 270, we have a battle of the middleweight grapplers. We have Rodolfo Vieira versus Wellington Turman. Rodolfo Vieira, 8-1. He's 4-1 in his last 5, and that lone loss was to Fluffy Hernandez, and he was the most exhausted I've ever seen any human being be, ever. Wellington Turman, 17-5 overall. He's 2-3 in his last 5, and he's coming off that split decision win over Sam Alvey. Rodolfo Vieira is massive at 185 pounds. He's crazy strong. He obviously has world-level jiu-jitsu. His cardio is absolutely horrific. It's horrific. That loss against Fluffy, he just died.
He was fine last fight.
Well, he does have power in his hands and good offensive takedowns. Don't expect him to be fresh later in the rounds, especially if he wrestles. But in his last fight, he did seem to fix some of those cardio issues. Granted, it didn't go to a decision, so it's not like you got a ton of looks at it. Wellington Turman, he's a solid grappler. His striking could use some work, but it's mostly there to set up the grappling. He's slick on the ground. He's always looking to make something happen. And his striking isn't very powerful, but he does have solid entries, and he uses his footwork pretty well. His last fight was a scrap against Sam Alvey, and I know how easy it is for all of you to say, well, Sam Alvey sucks, and that was a split decision, and it shouldn't have been a split decision against Sam Alvey. That's a loss. This guy's terrible. I actually completely disagree with that. Sam Alvey's stupid tough, has sneaky power, and he has a million fights. I mean, a win over Sam Alvey is not going to get you a title fight, but it's a solid win, especially if it's a 3-round back and forth fight. You know, it's a solid win over an actual veteran, regardless of his record. And it's an interesting matchup because both these guys are amazing grapplers, and they're matched up well enough that I don't think there's a submission here. I do not think either one of these guys will submit the other one, especially because I think Rodolfo, his cardio should hold up a little better than that Fluffy Hernandez fight. So then you have to move to the striking and the takedown defense, because I think that's what's going to end up defining this fight. And whoever has the better striking and the better takedown defense can basically dictate where it goes and then go from there. So who has a better striking? Well, both of these guys, let's pull up the stats, have a negative striking differential. Both of them are hit more than they hit the other person. Rodolfo Vieira lands 2.6 strikes for every 4 that he receives, and Wellington lands 3 for every almost 4 that he receives. So striking-wise, neither one is on the right side of a kickboxing match, but I do think Wellington probably has the cleaner striking. Rodolfo definitely has the better power. And then you move to takedown defense. Rodolfo Vieira, he's listed at 100% takedown defense. He's defended 3 takedowns in his UFC career against one person. That was Dustin Stoltzfus. Wellington Turman has defended 4 takedowns against 3 different opponents. So they're both listed at 100%. On paper, I think this should be razor thin, honestly. I'm leaning Wellington here, and I know everybody's going to call me crazy because even I thought I was crazy when I first saw the matchup. I was like, it's got to be Rodolfo Vieira, right? But then it's like, okay, we haven't really seen him. Like the one time he had any adversity, the dude died and was submitted. The one time. We haven't really seen him in any trouble in the actual fight itself. Wellington Turman is tough. Like, he's a tough guy. He's good on the ground. He'll keep coming forward. You know, his chin could be issues at times, but, you know, try not to get hit by Rodolfo Vieira. It's not like he's going to, set things up clean. And we know for a fact that Wellington Turman's cardio is going to hold up. He's been training with Glover, so he's dealing with big, strong grappler with big, heavy punches. I don't mind Wellington Turman here. I think he can sneak out an underdog win. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, I think the blueprint is there, and I think that's what Wellington needs to do to win this fight is find a way to tire out and exhaust Rodolfo. In this last fight, he looked better, but you mentioned it. He was dying in that fight that he got submitted by Hernandez. So if I'm Wellington, I push the pace early. I get Rodolfo against the cage. I might get on his hips. I would not try and take him down immediately. I think it'd be tough anyway. I think Rodolfo is good enough but I wouldn't try to, because then you're going to waste your energy. I would just try to control that position, make Rodolfo work, come up with a few strikes, throw a couple knees in there, work the body on the cage, and then go from there. Because I think if you try and take him down early, if you get him to the ground, you could lose a scramble, and you're in trouble if you're on the ground early against Rodolfo. So My pick's going to be Rodolfo because I think he's going to have the power and the striking to land the big shots because I think they're both kind of sloppy in the striking. I think he's going to be able to get the takedowns. I'm going to try and trust his cardio and think that if this fight goes, second or third round, that he's still going to be in there to be able to at least withstand the takedowns and reverse some positions on his own in the third round. So, I like Rodolfo, but I think the blueprint's there for Wellington. It's going to be pressure. It's going to be get him tired and then work from there. Don't try and chase something early. Be patient. He's going to get tired and then worry about the second and third rounds.
Well, and I could be way off too. I mean, Rodolfo Vieira could come out here, the machine that he is, take Wellington down because he's freaking jacked, and then work him. Like, that's very possible. Like, Rodolfo Vieira was, before the exhaustion submission, was supposed to be like, this is the guy. So, and maybe he'll remind us and like, hey, I had a bad day, guys. But
yeah, here's a quote directly from him. He said, "It was a difficult moment for me, losing the way I lost, getting tired the way I did, getting submitted. But today I see it as the best thing that could have happened to me. It's hard to see it, but after reflecting about it, it was the best thing that could have happened. It transformed me into a new human being, a new athlete, a new Rodolfo."
Okay. Because those things are always 100% true. Best training camp I ever had. The best shape I've ever been in. Who said, the training camp kind of sucked? But we'll see what happens.
He seems probably a pretty down-to-earth guy because I think he's talked about like not wanting to fight before and the mental aspects. And he's a sports psychologist now, so I think that when he says stuff like that, I think it really does change.
Well, $9,000, $7,200. I mean, if you think Rodolfo Vieira is going to buzzsaw, then 9,000 is worth it. I don't think that's going to happen. Even if he wins, I don't necessarily know if he's a buzzsaw. But you're on him. Are you going to spend the $9,000?
I'll see how it plays out. I think it's definitely a play. And, it's tough because Wellington is good on the ground too. And it's going to be hard to submit Wellington. So it's just whether you think that, this might be a good play because if Rodolfo keeps the cardio, gets the takedowns, but Wellington's good enough to get up from the takedowns, then it could be takedown.
Yeah, but then that's exhausting.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you got to trust his cardio. So
yeah,
I think it's definitely a play for multi lineup, but.
And Monkey Knife Fight, this is a clean over for me. I mean, I think this is an easy.
Yeah, because I don't think anyone's getting finished early. It's probably a more.
No,
they'll probably both get tired and not be able to take each other down. So then they got to strike. And
yep, this is an easy over. I'm going to do the more on Monkey Knife Fight. I'm going to take that note, so I do it now. These lines, the gentleman who sets these Monkey Knife Fight lines, Chris Riley, he does all of us at We Want Picks, you guys watching us. He does us all a favor, and he doesn't move the lines while we are doing our breakdowns. He waits till the next morning. So if you're watching this now, this is a line that I would go to wewantpicks.com/MKF. I'd hop in there, sign up, do all the things. This is a line that I would hit before Chris moves it. So you have the rest of tonight, and it's Tuesday night, the rest of tonight to hit it before it moves. I think this is a clean more on the Monkey Knife Fight line. And betting-wise, there's definitely a ton of prop bets that might make some sense. Go to wewantpicks.com/bets. We have 5 partners. You'll get some safety net prop bets with Bet Online. You'll probably get some better odds with Bet US. And then, doing a parlay and the ability to back out of one halfway through with my bookie is always fantastic. wewantpicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of them. Make a deposit. Let me know. I'll send you $50.